Full of vitriol and vagina. It's Sanctuary of Reality, my comic review series. Time now for Cerebus issue 264, the 33rd chapter of Going Home. Cerebus sits in the stables, staring out at the hunting lodge for hours, awaiting Jaka's return as soon as the moon sets. He soon falls asleep and dreams of being home at Sandhills Creek once again. Hanging out at the big celebration for him at the Sawmill Club, he shakes hands with Zeke Morton, who's proud to meet the former Pope. Jaka tells Crotchface about visiting the catacombs. Uh-oh, Crotchface readies his knife and is gonna kill her. Cerebus suddenly awakens, Jaka greeting him with a good morning. He immediately tells her to never tell anyone that she was in the catacombs, since women aren't allowed down there. She gets haughty over such a thing. He begs, then gets stern, and she reluctantly agrees, though things again are strained between the pair even more over it. Cerebus notices it's morning and she didn't wake him when she was supposed to, but she explains that they're outside of Cyrannus territory and Cyrannus are only allowed in 2 at a time with no weapons. So she figured they'd get some sleep, but she gets indignant and sarcastic about her being a mere woman. While they journey onward, Cerebus quickly reveals to Jaka that they have to tell everyone that they're married. The strict Orthodox Terramite community won't allow them there without that. Jaka points out they lack wedding rings, and Cerebus says they'll have to tell everyone they lost them back in the tent where they also left Missy. She argues over the details, but Cerebus tells her to stop mouthing off like she promised not to anymore. Jaka mentally checks out, realizing her place while there is to defer to whatever her husband says. When they finally rise up on the hill over Sandhills Creek, what will they witness? This is a good one, but you can really feel the discomfort in the relationship between Jaka and Cerebus at this point. This is not supposed to be a fun and happy issue. It's not romantic in the least, if that's what you're looking for. Dave Sim is staunchly pro-logic and anti-emotional response, but the guy as a writer definitely knows how to manipulate the emotions of the audience. In this case, the stress of the breaking romance is palpable in this issue. I know a lot of people complain that Jaka doesn't act like herself during Going Home in Form and Void. As I said, after Jaka's story, Jaka got extremely pampered, and after having run away from being the Princess of Palnu as a child and rebelling as a dancer, she's come to accept this royalty side of her to the point that it's really soured who she is, or it's brought out who she always was to begin with. Either way, the end result is the same. She isn't the same as she was back in Jaka's story. You don't go through that kind of major change in your life without it affecting you in some way. She's a less endearing person now, but that happens. It happens to both females and males, especially if you're trying to go against your true nature, just to be in a relationship with someone. It's funny because Cerebus is trying to be happy all the time. That's what Rick told him to do in order to keep his relationship with her. Meanwhile, Jaka's trying all the time to be something she isn't, to cling to Cerebus, because this relationship is the only constant she has in her life at this point. Or at least is a reminder of the good old days. People see Jaka as the villain, or painted as a villain in this particular storyline, but I don't see that as the case whatsoever. Cerebus's inability to get over her is the problem, and as we'll see next issue, it's not his only problem. Next time, you can go home again, as Going Home ends.